Alright, what we have here is an HP Pavilion desktop, and what we're going to do with it today is change the power supply unit from a 300 watt to a 430 watt. And first thing first is we're going to have to get the side panel off. Alright, it's not like way back when they used to put all the holes up and down this, where you had to get a needle driver and pop it off. Usually it'll come with one little screw. You just unscrew that. If it's not loose enough for you to do it with your fingers, then you just grab a flathead screwdriver, undo it until it's nice and loose. You're gonna grab this panel right here and pull back. Try to be careful with that so you don't get many scratches on it. Take that off, put it somewhere. Alright, now that we got the panel off, this is the inside of the computer. I'm trying to get the light in here as best as I can. It's a bit difficult. Just going to point a couple things out. This is your PSU, your power supply unit. Alright, it runs a current to your CD/DVD drive, and this is the connector right here. It also comes down here, it runs power to your hard drive. The connector is right here on the right. It also runs power to the main power connector, which is right here. This white block right here. And this is a 24 pin connector. There's 24 and then there's 20. You can tell by counting the pins on your connector on the motherboard. Your motherboard is this square board on the side of your computer in the back. Alright, you also have your 4-pin connector right here. Some are 4, some are 8. This runs power to your motherboard. Alright, depending on whether you have a factory fan, a CPU cooler fan, or an aftermarket. Aftermarkets usually run a direct current from your PSU box to your fan and also to the motherboard. This is right here a factory installed CPU cooler fan, so it's only connected to the motherboard. This little pin connector right here. Alright, now next step, which actually should have been the first step, is to make sure that your PSU box has no current going through it. How you gonna do that? You're gonna pull the AC cord out of it, and in aftermarket PSUs there's usually an on-off switch located either here or here, somewhere on the back panel. This is a factory PSU, so it has no on-off switch. A lot of factory installed PSUs actually have on-off switch, but this one does not. Alright, so make sure that there's no power connected to that. Now we're going to disconnect the power supply unit from your different drives. Like I mentioned earlier, this is your CD/DVD drive. You're going to pull this connector out. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So that's out. That's the connector right there. Now we're going to come down to your hard drive. Try to get some light in here. There we go. We're going to go after this connector right here. I'm going to pull that out. If I can get my big hands in here. Nah, it's not going to work. Alright, that's out. Move all these wires so we have room to work. Don't be afraid to be a little rough with it. All these cables are meant to handle stuff like this. Now we're going to disconnect your main power connector. And that's it right there. It's a 24 pin. We're also going to disconnect the motherboard connector, which this is a 4-pin. It's this one right here, directly on your motherboard. And that's that. Everything is now disconnected from your power supply unit. Alright, now that we've done that, we're going to take 4 screws that hold your PSU unit into your case. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Flathead usually works. Gonna take that off. This one. Alright. And then just go ahead and take the rest of it off with your fingers. Be sure not to lose them. If your PSU isn't broken, you're just upgrading, you could probably use it in somebody else's computer, or a lot of times repair shops will take them. Doubt they'll give you any money for it unless it's like an 800 watt. Oops. Alright, now you have no screws.